What is up, guys? Justin here with an absolutely massive Sega Saturn haul. This is definitely the biggest Saturn lot that I've ever purchased. Not that I've purchased a ton of Sega Saturn lots in my days, but this is definitely the biggest one. It ended up being a system and between like 45 and 50 games. And this was a completely spontaneous deal. I was sitting on my couch watching football earlier, got a text. It was a response to my Craigslist wanted ad. Guy said he had a Saturn and a bunch of games, sent me some pictures, we settled on a price, and I went right then and picked it up. So, of course, I'll let you guys know what I paid for everything at the end of the video. It was one hell of a deal, but let's get into what I got here. The first thing I'll show is the system itself, and my first ever boxed Sega Saturn system. And I'll do a close-up of this with the box open so you guys can see everything that was in here. But it was the system. There was actually two controllers in here when I got it, but I think only one of them was actually originally in the box. Had both the cords in there. I think the only thing it was missing was the instruction manual, and the front of the box here says video game sampler enclosed. I'm not exactly sure which sampler that was that went in this box originally, but I'll have to do some research on that. I have a few Sega Saturn samplers, so hopefully it's one of those, and I can put that in this box to fully complete it. But that was very cool, my first ever box Saturn system. There was also some extra accessories. This was the other controller that came in the box when I got it, but I don't think it originally came in there. It's a first-party controller, and then this Eclipse pad here, third-party Saturn controller. And then there was also a couple of these Eclipse stick arcade controllers for the Saturn. There's one of them there and the other one here. Both of them in their boxes. Looked like everything was in here for the most part. They both had instruction manuals. One of them still had like the baggie in there and everything. So that was pretty cool. I've never had a boxed arcade stick. I have owned the Saturn arcade sticks before, but never one in the box. But moving on next to the games. Now, like I said, there's between 45 and 50 of them here. I'm not going to show them in any particular order. I'm just going to grab them out of the box as they're sitting right here. So we'll start out with, actually, this one, it doesn't look complete, but it is. It's the Horde, which I've never seen before. I didn't even know this game existed. So it's got like a black and white cover on the front. I think that might have been like a rental thing because the actual manual is in there behind it. It's really beat up, like you can tell it was folded in half. I mean, it's still kind of wobbly. But there it is, and the game, everything was complete. I'm not going to open every single case, but the better ones I will. Next up we got Solar Eclipse, Road Rash, Bottom of the Ninth, Shanghai Triple Threat. Grab next stack them here. Now, a few of these he told me were factory sealed. I don't think any of them actually are, and I knew this one wasn't for sure because it is shrink wrapped. It's Solar Eclipse, but I don't know if you can tell so much on camera. The manual in there is completely screwed. So this is definitely a reseal. I mean, the manual's been folded and it looks like it's water damaged. Maybe it was a Blockbuster rental. And the sticker on the back there. So I'm assuming they just resealed it when they were selling it off or whatever. But yeah, there's a few of these like this in here. I'll be opening them up to see if make sure the game's in there and everything. We got Mech Warrior 2, Pebble Beach Golf Links. One of the better ones, Die Hard Arcade. This one's actually in really nice shape. Actually, all these games I was pretty impressed with the condition. Of course, like half of the cases are off their hinges and stuff, but actually 90% of the discs were pretty minty. There was a few that were a little scratched up, but this one's in really nice shape. Sega Worldwide Soccer 97. We got NHL Power Play 96. F1 Challenge. Wipeout. AMOK or AMOK. I'm going to say AMOK. Maybe you're supposed to spell it out, I'm not sure. NHL 97. Probably my favorite one that I got in here because I did not have this one for my collection yet. I've never owned it. It is Mr. Bones. Pretty obscure Saturn title. It is a dual disc game. This is one of the cases I think that was off the hinges, but I can replace that. But it did come with both of the discs in here. Put this back together. Next up was High Octane. I've never seen this one before either. Battle Arena Toshinden URA Ultimate Revenge Attack. I believe I have a different Battle Arena game on the Saturn, but not this one. Baku Baku. Looks like a puzzle game. I think I have that one too. Revolution, the Aerosmith game, I believe. I've owned plenty of copies of that in the past. This one's pretty cool. Area 51. Alright, I'm quickly running out of room here, so might have to pause in a second to clear myself some room, but we'll keep going. PGA Tour 97. One of the better ones for sure, Earthworm Jim 2. This one I do already have. I kind of pieced mine together, but I believe this one was in pretty nice shape too. I think the case needed to be replaced. One of the better ones for sure. Another one I've never seen before, Darklight Conflict. Looks like a shooter type game, like a space shooter. NASCAR 98. NFL Quarterback Club 97. Is that Dan Marino on the cover there? I think it might be. NBA Action. This one here, I don't think this was the one that originally came in the box Saturn system, the sampler, but this was a not-for-resale Virtua Fighter 2, Virtua Cop, and Daytona USA combo here, which I opened every case except this one, so it looks like everything's in there, all the manuals and what look like 3 paper sleeves for the discs. This one I was pretty pumped to get, Doom. Never owned Doom on the Saturn before. Looks like it's a pretty decent port of it. I'll have to check that one out when I test out the system. Midway presents Arcade's Greatest Hits, the Atari Collection Volume 1. Next up, we got NBA Jam Extreme, Midway Arcade's Greatest Hits. I'm guessing the original one. Resurrection, Rise 2. Off-World Interceptor Extreme. Never seen that one before either. College Slam, seen that one plenty of times, as I have with World Series Baseball 2. I think I might just be able to fit all of these on this table. Hopefully they don't come crashing down. Another one of the ones that was sealed, but not really. NBA Live 97. Virtua Fighter 2. Gex. Pretty cool one. Nights into Dreams. I don't think I have this one complete in the case. I believe I have it in just like a paper sleeve, which I don't know if it was part of like a sampler or something, but very cool to get this one complete in the original case. Decathlete. Coming down to the end here. This was the only double that was in here. It's another copy of MechWarrior 2. Andretti Racing. Scud, the Disposable Assassin. PTO 2. And the last couple here, Sonic 3D Blast was the only Sonic game that came in this deal, I believe. And then finally, Madden 98. But yeah, so that was all the Saturn games. I was really impressed with the condition of them. Obviously, the cases are so fragile that you can't really expect those to be in good shape. But for the most part, all the discs and all the good games for sure were in really nice shape. And I did actually get a couple more things from this guy as well. Right before I was leaving to go pick this up, it was about like a 15 or 20 minute drive, but he told me he also had a Nintendo box. He just had to see if he could find it. So while I was driving up there, he looked for it and actually did find it. I didn't know what to expect. Nintendo box, like what does that mean, right? But it ended up being an original Nintendo system, an NES, which did have a copy of bubble bobble in it. It's not in really good shape. It's missing one of the screws on the back, which I don't know if that's the screw rattling around inside there or not, but the system itself is decent shape, just a little bit dirty. And then in the bag with that was a N64 controller, which was really random, but it's in really nice shape. The joystick is like brand new. Okay. And then there's a Sega Genesis power adapter and a controller extension for a PlayStation controller. So what did I pay for all of that? When I originally asked him his price for the Saturn stuff, he told me he was looking to get $200 or close to it. And so I knew he was a little bit flexible on the price, but I didn't want to push it too much because, I mean, even $200 for that Saturn stuff would have probably been a pretty sweet deal. But I said, hey, look, I'll come pick it up right now for $150. And he was like, sure, I'll box it up for you. So $150 for the Saturn stuff. And I really didn't know what to expect when I got there with the Nintendo box. But when he showed me this, with the N64 controller and the Bubble Bobble, he was asking another $25 for it. Probably could have got it for $20, but I was like, you know what? Just based on what I saw when I got there, I was like, this guy has to have more stuff. He had like a huge barn, just full of. I didn't look in it, but it looked like it was just full of stuff. He said he like cleans out houses and stuff. So I was like, you know, I'm just gonna give him the full 25 for that, just so in case he finds some more stuff, I'll probably be the first one he contacts. So $175 total for all of that stuff. Absolutely incredible deal. Just the biggest Saturn lot that I've ever even seen for sale locally, and definitely the biggest one that I have ever purchased. A great way to end the weekend in the garage sales. Actually, I did have a little bit of luck at the garage sales this weekend. I may or may not do a video. I didn't find a whole ton of stuff, but just garage selling in October in itself is is pretty much a feat in itself. So anyway, though, thank you guys for sticking around and checking out this video. And until next time, take care.